Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and welcome back to another 2023 preview and prediction video. Today I'll be doing the Arizona State Sun Devils. Let's get into it. Well, last year was a big disappointment for Arizona State. Herm Edwards had one of his worst seasons he's had ever at Arizona State. Ended up getting fired by mid to almost late season and just ending with a 3-9 record, which did not bode well. Their losses included losses against Oklahoma State, Eastern Michigan, Utah, USC, Stanford, UCLA, Washington State, Oregon State, and Arizona. Their only two wins were surprisingly against Washington, and their other two, they beat Northern Arizona and Colorado. So, might as well not dwell on it and talk about what's happening this year. So let's look at the roster. They have a new head coach, if I failed to mention that. Kenny Dillingham, former offensive coordinator at Oregon and at Auburn. Mostly known for helping coach Bo Nix for his star-studded year last year. He's coming in as their head coach. And with this team, Arizona State, it doesn't look that star-studded and spectacular. Quarterback, you have Trenton Bourget, redshirt senior projected to start. You also have redshirt sophomore transfer from Notre Dame, Drew Pine, and freshman Jaden Rashada. Jaden Rashada was in a lot of drama this offseason with regards to Florida and NIL. And at the end of the day, instead of going to Florida or Miami, he decided, hey, I'm going to go to Arizona State. And he's here now, so if he gets playing time, we'll see. I don't think he's going to start the year. Running back, you have two transfers in Cameron Scadabo and DeCarlos Brooks. Wide receiver, you have Elijah Badger as well as Giovanni Sanders and some transfers in Xavier Guillory, Troy Amir, Jordan Tyson, Maquan Stovall, and Jake Smith. A lot of these guys, I'm guessing, are coming in because of Kenny Dillingham. So we'll see how much of an impact they can make. On the offensive line, you got three transfers: Sion Fiona, Aaron Frost, Leaf Fautani, as well as some veterans in Isaiah Glass, Joey Ramos. At tight end, you have Jalen Conyers to help out with the receiving game. So with that, let's look at the defense once it gets back there. I don't know why my computer's absolutely just being slow. It was slow for the last video. We'll see if it gets better as I do this, but that's why I'm not able to check every transfer. Sorry about that if you were looking for something like that, but don't worry, I'll still predict them and how I think they're going to do. So, with regards to Arizona State, they had a couple of quarterbacks last year, including Bourget. They had Emory Jones as well, who transferred to Cincinnati, and they had some guy. What's his name? Anyways, now let's look at the defense. So you got some transfers in: Prince Dorbay, Deshaun Mallory, Clayton Smith, Travion Brown, Xavier Alford, and Shamari Simmons. The guys you bring back that are projected to start are defensive tackle Antoine Cooper, Will Schaefer at linebacker, Ro Torrance at corner, Ed Woods at corner as well, and then Jordan Clark. So, that being said, let's just jump right into the schedule to see what I think Arizona State's going to do this year. Well, they start out the year against Southern Utah. Southern Utah has been known to push teams like Utah before they got good to the edge, but I do think Arizona State with Dillingham will be able to handle this at home. I think that the addition of Drew Pine could help out the quarterbacks, but we'll just see. Next up, you're at home against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, similar situation on its own. They lost their quarterback in the transfer portal. They got some guys in. However, I don't know if they're going to be able to replicate what they've done the past in 2021 and half of 2022. So I don't know about that, but I do think that they get the win here. I think that that team is built with a pretty good foundation, at least when it comes to playing a team like Arizona State. So I do think that Oklahoma State comes to Tempe and gets a win. So you're 1-1 before playing Fresno State at home. If this was last year, I would predict Fresno State to win this game. But without Jake Haener, it's going to be a tough stretch for Fresno. So I do think you get the win there before playing USC. Now, USC is going to be a tough game by itself. But playing it with against Caleb Williams, nah. I think that you lose to USC before going on the road for your first road game at Cal. This is going to be a interesting game. Cal, they have Justin Wilcox. He's back, and we'll see how they do this year. I think they're one of the bottom teams in the Pac-12, and I think Arizona State is going to be able to get the win here. I think you get your first Pac-12 win of the season to go to 3-2 before playing Colorado at home. Now, Colorado, interesting story. They have tons of transfers and Deion Sanders at head coach. They have Cormani McLean. They have Travis Hunter. They have Shadur Sanders. I think that you lose this game to Colorado before your bye week. With two new head coaches, I'm taking the guy that actually has coaching experience, whether it was Jackson State, whatever. I'm going to go with Deion. And I think you go 3-3 before going into your bye week. So after your bye week, you play at Washington. This is going to be a tough game. Washington is no joke this year. Kalen DeBoer has got his guys going. And I think you lose this game. Next up, you play Washington State at home for homecoming. Now, Washington State's going to be an interesting team. I think them, Arizona State, Colorado maybe, are going to be very unpredictable teams this year. So I'm going to give Arizona State the win. I just think that they're coming in a time where Arizona State's going to be in wounded animal mode after a couple of losses. And I think Dillingham gets them back on track with a big win here. Next up, you have a back-to-back road stretch against Utah and UCLA. And these two teams are significantly more talented than you, and I don't think you win either of them. I think you go back-to-back losses to get to 4-6. Then you play Oregon at home, and I think they beat you to get you out of bowl eligibility. Then I think you lose to Arizona at home. Look, it's going to be tough in Dillingham's first year, even with a couple of transfers. I think that Arizona State, in his first season, goes 4-8. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Go Dogs.